All right, what is going on? Everyone, it's 15th of May. Today we're gonna check out some trading opportunities that we may have here. Again, we're gonna go through the majors, including gold, and this is pretty much what I'm looking at. It's mainly euro, dollar, pound, dollar, and gold. We actually have some potential setups forming up. So if you can first let me know if you can hear me okay. Um, I think my mic was off just a minute ago. If you can guys let me know if you can hear me well, and um, and then we'll proceed forward with breaking down some of the pairs, some of the setups that I'm looking at. But first, I need to make sure that the stream is going well, and everything is set properly. Yeah, I think everything is good. All right, just gonna give it a few minutes so more people can join. I'm actually going to send out some links in the free Telegram channel. I'm going to share that on Twitter as well. And then we're going to proceed forward. But we definitely have some setups forming up here on the majors, mainly euro dollar and pound dollar, including gold as well. So let's see how it goes. First, I'm going to send a couple of links. Didn't have that much of a movement during the news on Tuesday, but since then, we have seen pretty much exactly what we expected, especially here on euro dollar and on pound dollar as well. Because if you look at the higher time frames, you will see that we managed to reverse right here on pound dollar, and then we've also got that reversal right here on euro dollar, just shy of the 61.8 retracement level, and that was something that I wanted to see. But what we have so far is, it's kind of decent as well, so we can definitely work with that also. Sending a quick message in the free Telegram channel. If you haven't joined, make sure to do so. You're not going to miss any of those live sessions, but also anything else that we do. It's always announced in the free Telegram first. So make sure to join. And if you have any trading setups or any trades that you're currently in, you can take a screenshot from your trading view chart and send it over to me via direct message. Uh, this is exactly what you know I'm sending out as information right now in the free Telegram channel. So check out the links below this stream. In the description of this video, you will find the link to the free Telegram channel. All right, so far so good. We can already see some bullish momentum coming into the market here on euro dollar and pound dollar, and this is the 1 hour time frame. It's already 8 a.m. London time, and we've already got that big push. So one way to trade that was to enter before that momentum, which I would do if that was in between 8 and 9 a.m. London time. That's not exactly the case today. We've already got that bullish momentum, but let's see how it goes, because I am expecting that we can actually see something like this going on right here, and then we can get that reversal. So this is going to be a really decent setup here on the 1 hour time frame though. Um, but what about the 15 or the 5 minute time frame? What do we do there? So I want to see whether we're going to have that continuation higher, because if we come right around here at the previous high and then we get a reaction, I'm probably not going to be expecting for price to drop all the way down here below this low. Maybe in that case we're going to have a bit of a pullback and then a continuation. Okay, but we'll see how it goes. And what I said before, um, I think I said that on the stream as well, on probably the last stream that we did on Tuesday, was that as soon as we see that reversal and price goes back to the upside, pound dollar is the one that's going to be stronger. So even if you look at the, let's say, the 1 hour time frame on both of those instruments, you will see that there is more momentum in pound dollar. One way to notice that is to look at the previous highs. And here on euro dollar, you know, we managed to come back for a retest of the highs and then we got that reaction. But then if we switch over to pound dollar, what happens here is this. We actually have a breakout. Okay, so then we have that pullback, and it looks like now we've got the continuation to the upside. I really wanted to see the 61.8 being tested first, but I guess the 38.2 will have to do. But if we manage to come down and retest the 61.8, this is where I'm going to be looking to potentially take a long trade. Okay, now the question is, are we going to continue higher from current price levels, or are we going to come back and take out this low first and then reverse back to the upside? So I guess we'll have to find out. But if I'm going to be taking a long trade, I mean, euro dollar looks good as well. However, I will probably focus on pound dollar instead. And then we have gold as well. So gold is the only one that didn't react with a bullish move, but this is totally fine. I mean, if you look at the higher time frames, or if you just zoom the chart out, you know, considering that we've got this massive move, that much of a pullback isn't really that bad. And to be honest, we are still going to be looking to take a buy trade here, a long trade. So the lower we go, probably the better for us, right? It's just the patience that a lot of people struggle with. But I do get questions. Why is gold not reversing? Are we supposed to sell gold? I don't think so. The only thing I'm looking for is a long trade here on gold. Okay, so I am expecting that we can even drop, you know, maybe even lower. I don't think we're going to break below this low right here. It's a major low on the 4 hour time frame. So anywhere above the 2,950 level is where I'm expecting to see that reversal. But it's fine, because while we're waiting for gold to set up, we now have euro dollar and pound dollar to work with. Obviously, we've got a few more pairs where we can potentially look for entries, and you know, this is what I shared in the premium telegram about a couple of hours ago. But still, the best opportunities are currently on euro dollar and pound dollar, and maybe even pound dollar over euro dollar in this case. So if you go down to the 15-minute time frame again, the 5-minute chart, we are now reacting to this minor level right here. So as you can see, we do have some structure, right? And so we've got the reaction. So it was quite easy for price to push up here into this area, but now we see that reaction. Now, if we see more momentum, more bearish momentum, that probably means we're coming down to this low. And then we can, we can again talk about this setup and potentially the 61.8 level as well. So you can mark out this level in your chart. It's 1.3220, 1.3225 roughly. So anywhere right here in this area is where I think if price comes down here, then this is going to give us a really good entry opportunity. So keep that in mind. Mark out this level in your chart. But when it comes to euro dollar, very similar setup here as well. If I drag the fib, we've got a 38.2 reaction. The 61.8 in this case will be 1.1140. Okay, so I really wanted to see the market take it out this low one last time and then going back to the upside. It's just otherwise, I'm looking at price action, and it's quite an easy setup otherwise. Okay, so we've got that push higher, price breaks above this previous high, then makes it pull back, and in case it continues to the upside, that would have been a very easy setup. So a lot of people are actually going into those setups. So what I'm looking for is for price to trick a lot of people that it's about to go to the upside. I then want to see it, pushing down, breaking below previous structure to again trick a lot of people that it's about to go down. And then obviously we're going to be looking to enter in the main trend direction. So this is pretty much what my idea is here. But I'm not sure. I mean, looking at this bullish momentum that we've got in the beginning of the session, it looks pretty decent, I'm not going to lie. You guys let me know if you have any setups, even if it's not euro dollar or pound dollar or gold, any other setup. Let me have a look at it. I'll open up the chart and, see what kind of price action uh, we have. I mean, for those of you who have been following the channel, or or if you are in the premium Telegram channel, you know that here is our full watch list. So I am looking at other pairs as well. It's just I try to keep it nice and tidy, keep it simple during the live session. So that's why I'm focusing on just a few pairs, and not my full watch list. Especially if I've said it before many times, but this is very important, especially if you're trading the lower time frames. Um, it's best to keep it to one or two pairs the most, and otherwise it's very easy to find setups on the lower time frames, so you can end up taking a lot of trades that you're not supposed to take. But when you only look at one or two pairs, it's easier to not overtrade, if that makes sense. Hello, Malik. Oh, yes, I just did, Malik. But we're gonna look at gold throughout the whole session. So keep watching. Um, but the analysis is basically that I'm waiting for price to reverse and go back to the upside. So I'm only gonna be looking to buy. I'm not looking to sell. But do not take this as an entry signal because right now is not the moment to enter a long trade. Okay, so we're probably going to come down a little bit lower and then we're going to see that reversal. It may not happen today, um, but we'll see how it goes. Overall, this is the 4 hour time frame, Malik, right? So we have this major low right here around 2,960. For now, I don't think we're going to break below that. So anywhere above that structure right here is where I'm going to be looking for that reversal. So we can see something like this, right? And as soon as we get that reversal, then I'm going to start looking to, enter a long trade. And also, once we have a confirmed reversal, I'm not only expecting for price to, kind of reach the previous highs, but we're most likely gonna be looking for a breakout as well. Okay, as kind of a longer term target, so to speak. All right, so let's see how far down we're gonna go now. So I'm just gonna place this horizontal level right here on pound dollar, and I'm gonna do the same here on euro dollar, and let's see if we're gonna come near those previous lows. Because if we do, then this may potentially give us an opportunity. So what else apart from gold do you guys look at? Any other instruments at all? What about the yen cross pairs? Talking about euro yen, pound yen. Yeah, a lot is going on here on the yen cross pairs, but all right. So the weekly time frame though, now it's going to be very important how this weekly candle will close by the end of the week, basically tomorrow, right? Um, if we have a candle like this may be a pretty decent signal for next week for us to look for selling opportunities on both euro yen and pound yen as well. Now, at the moment, dollar yen is looking, at least for me and for my style of trading, dollar yen is looking much better if I'm going to be looking to sell. But looking at the weekly time frame here on pound yen and on euro yen, this weekly candle is looking pretty decent. So if we drop down to the 1 hour chart, here is pound yen. We've already got a breakout of a previous minor structure right here. But we're now also testing this previous high. So we could potentially see some retracement. And then what's going to be important is whether we're going to have a lower high. And if we do, then we could expect a continuation to the downside. And that relates to euro yen as well, not just pound yen. Now the question is, do you trade those pairs, right? Because if you don't, then don't just add them to your watch list, because I'm sharing a potential setup on those. But what else? Together with euro dollar and pound dollar, we also have a potential um, uh, setup on Aussie dollar as well. So you can have a look at the chart there. Um, Now even the crypto market is setting up for some decent opportunities. If you look at Bitcoin or Ethereum, we also have some setups going on there as well. And it's been a long time since I've noticed I've spot a good setup on Bitcoin, for example. But this week was a bit different, and Bitcoin is kind of looking good for potential entries. Again, really depends on your strategy and what kind of trades you're looking for, but it is something to pay attention to. Now, this is the thing with gold. It sometimes takes a bit longer for a certain setup to develop and for you to find the entry. But for example, here right now, what we have is, this bearish move. So if you're only looking to trade within the trend, which means in the main market direction, that means you're looking to buy. So for that whole period of time, you're not entering a trade, you're just observing the market, right? And price will most likely continue pushing down for a little bit. Now, once you see that reversal, and if you manage to find your entry, you manage to find a good entry, you can then hold that trade for a long period of time, or at least, even if you're not looking or expecting a breakout of the previous major highs, even if you're looking for 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 on your setup, price will kind of complete your setup in a very short period of time. So it takes a long time for a certain setup to develop, but then like in this case, if you are expecting a bullish move, that bullish move could happen in a very short period of time. So gold is really explosive when it comes to even when it comes to swing moves. So we're talking about bigger moves on the 1 and the 4 hour chart. I'm not even talking about some very tight stops and very tight take profits on the lower time frames. All right, it looks like we're gaining some bearish momentum right here on the majors. So let me check out next week's events, see what we have then. Wait, Monday 19th, that's right. CPI for the British pound. Okay, so it's going to be fairly quiet week next week, if there is nothing unexpected, of course. So what that means is if we manage to kind of see those setups that I'm talking about coming into reality by the end of this week, which means tomorrow including, then next week we may have slow price action, but it should be in the direction that we are expecting, which means we can, easily look for entry then. So even if we look at the 1 hour time frame here, we either want to see price continuing to the upside or take it out of this most recent low and then giving us that reversal. Now, if this happens by the end of this week, this is going to be, great. Next week, we can look for buying opportunity. The only thing that's going to put me off from looking for long trades in the beginning of next week is obviously if we push down and let's say we close all the way down here or even lower, if we close bearish basically, because I definitely want to see bullish price action. So if you look at the weekly time frame on euro dollar, ideally I want to see this candle getting filled all the way to the top. Not sure if this is going to happen, but at least I want a stronger bullish candle. Same thing here for pound dollar, and that would mean a long rejection wick on that weekly candle on gold. So we'll see where this body will close tomorrow. So here is the weekly time frame on the dollar index. Now the dollar index's chart is very important for us because we're now talking about potential opportunities on majors, which are basically traded against the US dollar, right? So if we have a look at the weekly time frame here on the dollar index, you know, this makes a lot of sense because let me just grab my pen too. Because while price was pushing up, and this is why we have this long rejection wick candle right here. While price was pushing up, we had those pullbacks on euro dollar, on pound dollar, even on gold, right? But now all those losses have been recovered because price is now pushing down here on the dollar index. Now imagine if we have a bearish candle, okay, with a body down here and a long rejection wick like this, right? So we're going to be expecting next candles to continue bearish, which means we should be bullish on, for example, euro dollar and pound dollar, okay? So I do like to use the dollar index as kind of as an extra confirmation just to see how price moves compared to those instruments that I'm interested into trading. So this is something that you can add to your um, process when you analyze the market and when you're looking for potential opportunities. And it makes sense that we had that pullback as well because just before that, we managed to take out a major weekly low. So we know that there is plenty of pending orders and stop loss orders and stuff like that down here. So as soon as the market taps into this area, it gets triggered and it goes back to the upside immediately because we have a massive reaction because of that liquidity pool, which is sitting just below this major low. So we kind of saw the reaction and it looks like now we're going back into bearish price action. Now, of course, this is not 100% sure, and I can't be 100% certain, but there is definitely a higher probability that something like this could potentially happen. There's definitely not a lot of movement on gold because if you look at euro dollar and pound dollar, we are at least kind of seeing more movement, I feel like. But it's only been about 30 minutes since the beginning of the trading session, so obviously we've got this level right here which affects pound dollar at the moment. So short term we may kind of struggle to break below or above that, but eventually we're either going to go down and head towards the lows right here, or we could also see that reversal. Like I said, I think there is a higher probability that we're going to see bearish price action. If you look at the 1 hour candles, they're quite bearish as well. All right, so pretty bearish right here, which makes me think we're most likely going to drop down even lower, maybe take out those lows here on the on euro dollar and on pound dollar as well. And gold will most likely continue to the downside. I mean, a little bit further down. So it's definitely not time to look for entries to the upside either way. I'm personally not going to be looking to take a sell trade either. Um, uh, but you know, we'll see how price action will develop throughout um, you know, the London session today, and then later on during the US session we may have something going on. But essentially the idea is, again, for those of you who kind of missed what we talked about, was that I'm actually expecting to see price taking out this most recent low right here and then potentially giving us that reversal. So look around the 61.8 levels on those last moves. So just place the Fibonacci right here and look for the 61.8 Fib retracement on both euro dollar and pound dollar. 1.3220, 1.3225 is where the 61.8 is on pound dollar. So if something like this happens, then this would present a pretty decent setup, I would say. So this is what I'm essentially going to be looking for here on the majors. But when it comes to gold, I can't really give you exact levels. I mean, obviously we have the 3084 level, which is the 76.4 on the Fib retracement. But also we have, you know, we may even come down as low as this previous low, right? So even if that happens, this is not gonna make me give up on my idea to buy. It's only gonna give me a better entry level. But of course, I'm not gonna be using any pending orders. I want to see that price is reacting in some way, okay? So I want to see some rejection, and then I'm gonna be looking to take a buy trade. And by the way, the setups that I'm talking about here on euro dollar and pound dollar, where I want to see price take it out those lows, okay, the 1 hour time frame lows, and then giving us that reversal as soon as we dip below them. This is exactly what we have here on gold, okay? So if you look at the 4 hour time frame, for example, this is exactly the same setup. So what do we have here? We have price pushing up, then creating a higher low, then again breaking above resistance. But this time we're not forming up a higher low, we're actually coming down below this most recent low. And as soon as we take out this low, because there are plenty of stop loss orders sitting below that, as soon as the market clears all of those orders right here, it then creates the next move to the upside. So this is a quick breakdown of the setup that I want to see here on euro dollar and on pound dollar, but on the 1 hour time frame. So that's why I've got those horizontal levels right here. And so when you look at potential pullback levels, you know, the 61.8 definitely makes sense. So yeah, I think that's all for now. You guys don't forget to check out the links below this video if you're not watching this live. Join the free Telegram channel. There's a ton of free valuable information. Also check out our website trendlineforex.com. We've got not just one or two, we've got few or several completely free of charge courses. Um, Let me just pull it up on the screen. Trendlineforex.com. You can have a lok at the, you can go to services, you can check out our full beginners course for those of you who are just starting out. And we've also got, if you know, for those of you who are interested into taking a challenge, a funded account, we also have a completely free course with strategy included on how to pass a challenge. Okay, so All you have to do is to sign up on our website. It's completely for free, and then you get access to all of those free resources. All right. If you want to take your trading seriously, you can also join our premium Telegram channel for daily market breakdown on multiple instruments. I think that's all for now. I'll see you guys in the next session. Subscribe to this channel. I do live sessions twice a week, every single week, Tuesday and Thursday. And you know, there are also more videos that I'm about to drop out, very valuable videos with strategies included, again, for those of you who are trying to take their trading to the next level. All right, I'll see you guys in the next session.